The investigation report mandated by the Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights on Sri Lanka will be presented to the UN Human Rights Council tomorrow.
In his opening statement at the 30th UNHRC session yesterday, the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, Zaid Rad Al Hussein, speaking on Sri Lanka, stated that the findings in the investigation report on the conflict were of the most serious nature and welcomed the vision of President Maithripala Sirisena. Meanwhile, representing Sri Lanka at the UNHRC, Foreign Minister Mangala Samaravira pointed out that Sri Lanka recognizes all communities as equals and commented on the adoption of a new constitution. The minister spoke of the establishment of a truth-seeking commission with a dual structure composed of religious dignitaries from all major religions in the country and a structure composed of commissioners. In addition, a judicial mechanism with a special counsel is to be set up by statute which takes into account the rights of victims.
Today we have a government in place which acknowledges the suffering of victims across Sri Lanka's communities. A government which recognizes the mistakes of the past and is all too aware of the weaknesses of our institutions. A government that does not seek to take cover by distorting concepts and principles such as sovereignty for its own selfish ends, but instead remains firmly committed to the welfare of all its citizens, remains open to dialogue and to address difficulties and deficiencies with help and assistance from the international community when required. Therefore, I say to the skeptics, don't judge us by the broken promises, experiences and U-turns of the past. Let us design, define and create our future by our hopes and aspirations and not be held back by the fears and prejudices of the past. Let us not be afraid to engage in meaningful dialogue aimed at finding solutions to problems as opposed to pointing fingers, heaping blames and scoring political points at the expense of future generations.
Former Sri Lankan diplomat Bandula Jayasekara commented on the points that drew the attention of the international community.
Foreign Minister Mangala Samaravira, what he said, that he reached out to the international community and he said that give us time and space. But the same thing which Professor G.L. Piri said before, but his tone was different, the present Foreign Minister's tone was different. What was good is, normally in the past, it was a very aggressive response from the United Nations which always brought this resolution. But it was a very positive response which came from the United Nations. I think you could see a very positive change. And also, whereas the present government is working, has reached out and working with the United States, we need to engage. That is real diplomacy, which we need.
Senior attorney at law Gomin Dayasri, speaking on the Pathikada program this morning on Sirasa TV, stated that a positive outlook has been created.
We must protect not only our country but also our army. Do not forget, we are living in a country that saved a large number of murderers and directed them towards democracy, where that very government was defeated by its people through an election. So we cannot forget the service rendered by the army. The weaknesses of the foreign ministry are many, especially during the last government and the defense ministry. If investigations were carried out in a transparent manner, there wouldn't have been all these issues. As a lawyer appearing for the army then, I challenge the investigations because I know we can fearlessly overcome it and triumph. We do not need divisive political parties. We need national political parties. We must create a country where we all live as brothers and sisters. Because of this relationship with India and America, we must methodically and effectively devise a mechanism through a domestic principled investigation within the country under the laws of the country, but according to natural justice principles and transparent.